Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third and final season of our Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition chronicle, Blood on the Grand Strand. This is the finale, episode 8, Through the Darkest Valley. And as you might notice here, I say 8 instead of 7 because our episode 7 was corrupted, and I will briefly recap it for you all in just a minute. But first, let's meet our vampires, starting with Chris.
Good evening. I'm Chris, ThePrimogen, and I am playing Anthony Tulip, the Tzmitzi.
Kitsu?
Hi, I'm Kitsu. I play Astrid, the Tremere.
Josh?
Hi, I'm Josh, and I play Hunter the Ravenous.
And for a long time, too, I'm sure. And Laura.
Hi, I'm LauraTutu, and I play Victoria Warren, the Gangrel.
And we will be joined by YepItsZak after the break. Now, as I said, episode 7 is our lost episode, our missing episode. So let me recap it for you now. Marcus Lavoy, Anthony's former lover turned SAD or SAD agent of the Second Inquisition, arrived in the Grand Strand after having been burned by his agency for concerns of dubious allegiance and blank body sympathies. However, he returned with surveillance footage of blank activity underground, and with the help of their new werewolf allies, the coterie entered the utility tunnels or sewers that run under the man-made lake of Broadway at the beach, where they discovered explosives set in the tunnels. There, the coterie and their allies tangled with 3 of Conanti's enforcers, Boa, Adder, and Python, with only Adder escaping the tunnels. The coterie knows now that they don't have much time before Conanti is warned that they disarmed his underground bombs. And again, apologies for the technology that hates me and that you likely won't be able to see this episode. I'm still trying to recover it behind the scenes. But perhaps sometime in the future, we will check in with these vampires and see what they've been up to, if they survive tonight, that is, of course. Now, if you all are ready for one possible last trip to the beach, let's finish our vampire story. Blood on the Grand Strand is, above all else, a story about vampires. Who they are, what they do, and why they do it. The essence of storytelling is rooted in the power of empathy. As this story unfolded, it invited all of us to step into the shoes of these creatures of the night, to see the world through their eyes and perspectives, and to feel the rhythm of their unfamiliar unlives. And in the cadence of a well-told tale, we find solace, inspiration, and in the alchemy of words, we transform mundane moments into extraordinary narratives. We begin our final scene tonight with you, Astrid, and Hunter. Astrid, the vast ocean stretches before you, a lapis tapestry woven with the threads of moonlight and shining stars. The crests of the waves dance like liquid poetry as they crash against the shore again and again. At one time, this was your whole world, when the sun shone on your face and there was breath in your body. You rode these waves for the cheer of the crowd, for the accolades, for the sheer thrill of conquering the primordial. Even in death, living so close to the beach, the ocean still calls to you. A serenade that carries on the breeze, whispering to you in the folds of the salt air. Hunter, you have returned to the Grand Strand, and while driving towards Pirate's Voyage, you spotted Astrid, standing alone on this cold beach. Something in your blood called out to you, letting you know that a piece of you was nearby. Hunter, how would you like to approach Astrid, or would you like to just watch her from afar?
I think I watch from afar as I'm pulling the car into the parking lot, and then I, very casually walk across the beach up behind her, and I say, "Well, good evening, beautiful. How are you?"
Oh, Hunter, I didn't even notice. Hello. Good
Hello?
to see you.
Are you okay?
I miss being alive. That's so weird. I don't think I've allowed myself to say it ever. This is all... There's so much happening. when things used to be this packed, stressful, or just difficult, the only thing that would really help me clear my head was to go and just hit the waves. And I don't think I've done that ever since this happened, so
It does tend to take over. I think there is gonna be time real soon where maybe you, me, we should take some time and just be ourselves for a little bit. There is just one more step.
and a few preparations to go before that.
Yeah. Listen, I want you to not have to worry. So, I have a gift for you. Something from my sire who wanted me to be safe. And, well, we will be. Just in case, he takes something from around his neck. It is a tiny, tiny vial of blood. And he hands it to you.
She looks confused. She's like, you've been showering me with gifts. This is... What? Are you sure I should have this? This is very important to you.
I mean, so are you. I have been trying to suppress my beast, and I suppose that this is part of that. That's incredibly strong blood, and I know if you drink it, you will make better use of it than I will.
I will keep this safe. Thank you. She comes over and she hugs you.
And he hugs her back very tightly.
You know, I am so grateful. I can't express it. I mentioned before, I come from money, my family was pretty well off. You don't just go surfing if that's not the case. But I left it all behind because the things that mattered to me most were being able to connect with someone, being able to, be yourself. And I thought I lost that too. And this sounds so grim, and it kind of is, I guess, but I was ready to let go. I was ready to die before you and everyone in the coterie just grabbed onto me. And I will do anything I can to make sure that we make it through this last push. And I am so grateful that you, for whatever reason, put your faith in me in such a way that, to such an extent that somehow, when I look back at everything, it's all been worthwhile.
I'm very happy to hear you say that. In some ways, you have, and the others, have made me a better person. So, before I was pretty meager, pretty mean. It was a lot of fun. I'm not going to deny that, but unfortunately, there were people worse off than I. And I saw that. You came from money. I came from dirt. I built myself up from nothing through stealing and gambling. Both at the same time. And it made me realize that you're right. It doesn't mean anything unless there are people to spend it on. So I shower you with gifts. I give whatever I can to the others. I shelter thin bloods because I saw you struggle. I saw you fight against death and being dead to try and create some sort of life. And I wanted to be a part of that. So thank you.
Thank you, too. I really want to think about what happens after. I think I'll keep that in mind through all of this. And I really hope, and it's already something to say that, to have hope at all. But I do. I hope we can see this through.
We will.
There are a few things that I want to do before we go into the thick of it, just to have no regrets. First thing, sorry.
Yeah, sure.
So, first thing first is, well, Dean is no more. And as much as I looked forward to him not being there, him not looming over me in any way, I feel like part of me left with him. Can't explain it. But maybe it's for the better. As for the second one, if I say Anita, does that name mean anything to you?
Yes.
Let's see how much Hunter understands. You have an adult and a cult from eating a mage, so let's roll an intelligence and a cult roll. And you have an extra dot in intelligence also from eating a mage, so. He made you smarter and spookier.
I got one success.
Okay. With one success, you don't know how, and you don't know why, you don't necessarily understand it, but Astrid's ability to use her oblivion powers comes from this Anita person in some way. That's about the extent that you understand.
Okay, yep. Cool. Well, that's about the extent I understand anyway, so it's good. You learned something from her. With the shadows. That's all I know.
She is de la Sombra. She is very powerful. I believe whatever happened to me was some sort of ploy, something that they were trying out.
You're talking
is-
about when you were sad.
Yes. I was not supposed to survive, but I sort of did, on death and stuff. But I also just didn't really have a sire, did I?
No.
So in many ways, I feel really relieved that I'm at the very least bound to you. And, well, my bond with her remains to this night, day, whatever you want to call it. The thing is that when Conanti first appeared, I told her. I asked her for help. I told her we were in danger. Myrtle Beach was going to be destroyed, or rather overrun, but whatever he was planning. And at the time, her response was very lukewarm. More so about, oh, and this is not verbatim, mind you, but it was more so that the chaos would settle along those lines, and the victors would be the ones that would rule. But with the information that Marcus came to give us, now that the Inquisition is getting ready to blow up Myrtle Beach, not just us, not the werewolves, everyone, because of Conanti, I think I need to reach out for her. To her, to ask her to see if she can come interfere. She
This,
can help.
it doesn't sound like something that comes for free, though.
No. I don't think she will look kindly to me playing part in assassinating the prince and siding with the Anarch movement. And that's gonna be the least, even though that's, I suppose, is gonna be the least of our worries at the time. I don't know what power she's got over me, but I think that being bound to you, having put away a little bit of life and blood, and having a couple of other options, I suppose, even though they might not be as effective, might keep me safe and give me some sort of leverage. The thing is that she's so old and she's so powerful that if I just play onto it, if I just phrase it as it being, a turf war that I want to win, it could be worth the while. I don't know, though, whether she would want to drag me back to the Camarilla with her after that. It's been something that's been on my mind for a while now.
I guess you wouldn't have much choice but to be a prince at that point.
And it wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, I've come to realize. The only bad thing would be that they would like to probably have a say in what kind of prince I should be. But if I can cut the ties, so to speak, and play the role, I might just bring some sort of peace to Myrtle Beach.
This is going to be dangerous.
It always has been. But
So the question I have then in Astrid
Mm.
is twofold. One, would you like to reach out through the void to the person who first touched you with Oblivion, Anita? And two, would you like to take Hunter or leave him behind?
I will ask.
Mhm.
I can reach out to her. But I've got to go through the darkness to do that. Through Oblivion. Would you want to... I could try to take you with me if you wanted to go.
Well, being as I am a creature of the burning sun, I suppose there are two options where I would be leverage or I would be an excellent poker face for you.
You
I
don't
will
have
go if you need me. I think you're strong enough on your own, but I will.
I would feel better if you were there.
Let's go then. We already killed one old shriveled something or other. We'll be fine.
Astrid, would you make me a rouse check, please? If it is a 1 or a 10, you need to let me know. It is a 7, so you are okay. You don't get a humanity stain for touching the inhumane darkness. So, Hunter, on the beach, you sort of watch Astrid. She turns back to the ocean, and you sort of watch the shadows that are sort of playing along the sand. Anything that is being reflected from the moon that's casting shadow starts getting drawn to Astrid. It slithers like little snakes up to her skirts and starts swarming around her, cradling her, covering her. She looks very serene and calm, as if this is not odd or frightening at all. And as they do this, they start expanding outward from her chest, wider and taller, until there is a portal in front of you. Black, you cannot see through it. It is the darkest black you think you have ever seen. And you feel as if the moon were shining directly on it, its light too would get swallowed up in it. And Astrid, all you must do is step into it. But if Hunter wants to come, you better hold on to him.
I turn around to look at him and I go, this is it. This is where we go in. If you still want to. I will not pressure you.
Oh, I'm all in.
Astrid's eyes are totally black as she speaks to you.
I am all in.
She takes your hand, squeezes it tight, and leads them both through the portal.
Astrid, you've been here before. You know what to expect. But Hunter, you don't. The very first sensation you feel when you walk into this portal is nothing. And I'm not being hyperbolic when I say nothing. Any love or warmth, joy, anger, fear, frustration, any emotion that you've ever felt or feeling in that moment or can remember feeling is extinguished entirely. You feel nothing. And you don't feel anything physically. Not a floor beneath you, not Astrid's hand where it just was as she pulled you into the portal. Nothing above your head, nothing below your feet, nothing to your sides. You're just floating somewhere absent of love, absent of hope, absent of anything. course, for you, Astrid, you see it. You know where you are. Been here before. Anita has taken you here before. You see yourself skating with Hunter behind you over the top of the labyrinth, where the souls of the damned scream and reach for you and pull. It is a horror of boiling pits of acid, walls and floors of glass. Every horror and every fear that you've ever thought of, imagined, or dreamed of exists here. And this is where Anita can be found. What happens in the void above the labyrinth? We'll find that out after the break. But until then, we're going to move our scene to Anthony. Anthony, you're standing with your child Stella in front of her destroyed home. She's currently picking through the wreckage, her desperate hands searching for something, anything that survived Conanti's bomb. As you watch her, there has always been a part of you, that the deep dragon within you that stirs in your blood, that has wanted to possess her. She's your child. Your blood brought her into the night and animates her now. She's yours. But you have always denied this ancient desire. But even now, when this night could be the last night, your blood still sings to you, urging you to bind her, bring her back to where she belongs. Stella returns to you with something in her hand. It's a 5-pointed star hung on an anchor, suspended in a field of light blue and stars. And she says, it's a medal of honor I received when I was discharged from the Marines. I want you to have it. I just want you to have it. For good luck.
This is yours.
I know. And I want you to have it.
For good luck, you say.
I won't be there.
Do you have anything else to bring with you of your own? Any of your things?
I have everything that I need. And Marcus has everything that he needs. And I'll do what you say. We'll drive north to Canada or south to Mexico or even farther if we don't hear from you tomorrow night. I promise we won't come back into the city. We won't look for you, even though it'll kill me. It'll kill me, Anthony.
I take the medal and I give Stella a hug.
She hugs you very tightly.
I hug her back too, not quite as tightly. And when I let go, I awkwardly pat her on the back, ruffle her hair a little bit. I'm not very good at this. I have never been good at this.
That's okay. I'm good at it. I've said goodbye to a lot of people. But I'm gonna miss you most of all, Scarecrow.
Scarecrow. I will be back. I've
know that.
been through enough of this to know that it's going to be fine.
If you really believe that, you wouldn't be sending me and Marcus away on the off chance.
Go by Chicago on your way up north.
What's in Chicago?
Safer than here. Just stick by the rules.
So it's a cam place?
Some might call it that.
What about out west? Anaheim or Los Angeles?
Never been. I heard it's a little bit of the Wild West there, so.
Well, we can't go to New York because Marcus is afraid of his agency. Can't go to Boston because that's where Azaria went.
No. Or Seattle. It's about as
Seattle.
far away from here as you can be.
Hell, maybe Vancouver Island.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't want to do this, Anthony. I don't want to go.
You're gonna have to. You don't have a choice in the matter. You promised me to take care of Marcus.
Yeah, well, who's going to take care of me?
You're a grown person. You're a cop. You'll be fine. And tell you what, I'll teach you all kinds of things when we meet back up again. You'd be surprised how flexible a human body can be. You can hide things all over the place.
She wipes away a blood tear and punches you on the shoulder. If you're a lion, and if I don't hear from you tomorrow night, I'm gonna hate you forever.
That's all right. Hate is a powerful emotion. Kept me going for a long time. But Stella, people like Azaria, people that are old, people that think they're the good people, people that don't even question it, they're bad people.
Okay.
You're strong enough to take care of yourself. You're strong enough to learn on your own. Don't let others tell you what to do.
Only you.
Only if you let me.
Don't scuff up my medal.
I'll take good care of it.
When we meet back up again, I'll tell you the story of how I got it.
Nice. I'll give you a pair of glasses just like mine. I see you've been eyeing them.
He smiles.
Yeah, I'm very bad at this.
Well, I better go back and make sure Marcus is still eating that horrible food he wanted to try. Southern food that he wanted to try.
There's nothing good about this town, especially not the food.
I just want to make sure that he's still there.
Yeah.
Our tricks don't work on him, so it's a good thing he likes me.
Yeah. Guys, I can see a resemblance. Tell you what. And I take out a notepad and I jot down an address. I hand it to her. If you do end up going by Chicago, just drop some flowers off at this place.
Okay. I'm sure I can convince Marcus that he absolutely has to let me watch him eat a deep dish pizza.
Yeah, deep dish is good. Damn good. You don't want to go to any of the big places. Here's another, I've written down another address. They might still be open. It's been a while. Either way, Lilacs.
Lilacs.
Yeah, I'll know.
All right.
All right.
Kick his ass, yeah?
Yeah, you know me. I don't stop.
Yeah, so I'm worried about.
Okay, I gotta go. But any last questions? Any more guidance from the guru?
Does it ever get easier?
So, Depends on which way you take. But I think you're going to take the right one. Proud of you, Stella. I'm sad you had to become one of us, but couldn't have asked for a better child.
So not fair to make me have to cry all in my car. Ugly cry, Dad.
It's all right. Don't bleed out.
Very funny. I guess what I miss the most is your sense of humor.
I would imagine that's something you'd miss the least, but to each their own.
You are very bad at this.
Yeah.
This is the playful banter portion of the goodbye.
Yeah. I'll go now.
She hugs you one last time.
Hug her back. Harder this time.
And she walks away and leaves.
Yeah.
Is there any further preparations that you do before you go and meet the rest of your coterie outside of the Hard Rock Cafe?
I go to one of my old haunts, one of the places I would stay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a motel. I've been renting a room there every night for I don't know how long, and I check out.
All right. Moving our scene now to Laura, or to Victoria, excuse me. Victoria, you are seated in a very special place. You are in front of Alligator Adventure. It's destroyed now. It's blown up. It's not here anymore. Of course, nothing is here anymore. Not your sire, not his alligators. Not even Galen is here. He is called off to deal with some emergency from the werewolves, part of the pact, the alliance that was made. So he had to go. And now you are alone, staring at the memories of what was. You stare long enough, you can see your sire, his large fangs, smiling at you as he introduces you to the Salubri doctor for the first time. The memory plays out in your head as you stare at the rubble. 3 dice, please, Victoria.
Two successes.
With 2 successes, some parts of the memories fade away. Your sire's face, can't remember what your father looks like. It falls away, swims away like a mirage in the desert. You still see Galen's face, clear. And you still remember what you're here to do. Voice from behind you. Voice you recognize. So, what brings you back to the old haunt? And the voice is, of course, Isaiah, one of your fellow gangrel. He's with you for decades, serving in New York under the Camarilla, came with you here to the Grand Strand, and took over Alligator Adventure after your sire died. Don't you have somewhere to be, Victoria?
See? But, there's a chance I will not come back from it, so I figure one last look can't hurt.
You know, Lencho. God, I never thought he would ever get out of this place. It's like he retired down here or something.
Getting stronger.
What's getting stronger?
The pull. telling me I need to go, telling me I need to drop everything and move towards where the sun rises.
You were never one to follow orders, Victoria, not even when you were an Archon. You followed the orders you were going to do anyway. What's different now?
Maybe I'm finally tired. Maybe I'm finally realizing that the orders that I decided to follow all that long ago were questionable at best.
Even the one to take out Conanti? That order?
Maybe. But I followed it. Followed him. Did what I had to do to survive, because if I hadn't, I would have been forfeit.
Yeah, we all know that Xavier was kind of a dick.
That is putting it lightly.
Kind of the way it works in our clan, right? You either have to be the biggest brain in the room or you have to have the biggest dick. Helps if you have both.
We always prided ourselves on being free. The closeness with our beasts, as if it somehow makes us less of a slave to it.
And what do you think now?
I don't know anymore.
Victoria, you have 150 years on me, right? I was just a whelp in the 70s when I was embraced. But I have always known you to make the best decisions that you could make at the time for the reasons you thought were the most important. And I don't know what it's like to feel what you feel. The urge to leave that you feel. But if I was a betting man, and if Hunter asks, I am, wherever you're going, whoever's calling you there, if you listen to it, you're going to be following orders until you're drained dry. Because this seems like the ultimate order.
I suppose that is one way of putting it, yes.
If we can survive Conanti, maybe we can help you. I met this guy not that long ago. Came here from Chicago. He's a DJ, he's very annoying. But when you hang out with him long enough, he talks. He has a big mouth. Told me a story about Kindred in Chicago, who didn't just keep it at bay, but stopped it. And I'll help you. But we can't do anything if they nuke the city.
No, if we are flattened into a crater, well, it won't matter anyway.
But I mean, saying sorry never hurt.
Hmm.
Maybe that's his ultimate weakness. Humility.
A heartfelt apology and
He
all
would
this
never
goes
see it
away.
coming.
Part of me does regret it, you know.
I know. I was there.
I told myself that the order was coming from Xavier. That meant it had to be right. It had to mean something. And maybe I was just hiding behind those orders.
None of us wanted to go up against him, Victoria. And we slaughtered them. We slaughtered them all. Mercilessly, viciously. Where his orders came from, and what deals he owed, what boons he owed, we don't know. Because ultimately it turned out we were just pawns in a bigger game. And you can't beat yourself up about that.
But you're right. It won't make a difference if the city is nuked.
Yeah. I'm heading to the Hard Rock. If you want to ride. I know you like to fly, but my car isn't totally terrible. It's a Volkswagen bus. A lot of space.
I'll come with you.
All right. Let's see this through the end. Whatever end that is.
To whatever end.
And look, my arm's grown back in. So, ready to lose it again.
Let's aim for not any more dismemberment, if we can. I'm not going to hold my breath, though.
I'm fine with it. Let's go.
I will follow him to his vehicle.
And as you all take your separate journeys through to the Hard Rock Cafe, Hunter and Astrid taking, let's say, an astral journey somewhere, we are going to stop here for a very quick break. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the finale of Blood on the Grand Strand, Episode 8, Through the Darkest Valley. We are joined now by YepItsZak. Would you like to introduce who you're playing for us this evening?
Hi there, I'm Zach Rivaudo, and once again, I'm returning as your Baron of the Strip, AP Conanti.
We are very happy to have you back, perhaps for the final time, in a Huddyverse game, as it's so lovingly called. Inside of Hard Rock Cafe, where you're seated on your very nice marble chair that was already here when you moved in, left over from the days when this was a functional restaurant. Next to you is Viper, who is pacing behind your chair, pacing to the left and pacing to the right. And he says to you, "We're gonna go, right, boss?"
Go? Why not we go?
They wiped out half of these fucking thin bloods. They took out Boa and Cobra, Python, and we're gonna go, right?
We still haven't talked. I mean, I left a message for them in the middle of town and everything.
Yeah, and then they never showed up. So we're gonna go, right?
They still got time before everything sets off. No, I don't feel like leaving right now, Viper. I feel like extending the courtesy, in spite of my better judgment, that I've extended over and over again, to talk and see what happens.
What if what Ada said is true? Ada said that he smelled werewolves.
The hypocrisy knows no bounds. If it's true, then first of all, I think that they're pretty stupid for doing that, thinking that they're going to bring werewolves against another vampire. Like, that's going to be the end of it. What, they think they're going to steer a doggy at me and then the dog's not going to keep on sniffing? Not going to keep on hunting? But no, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Sure ain't the first time I've crossed paths with a lupine. It won't be the last.
I'm no Malkavian, boss. But, I got that Han Solo bad feeling, you know?
This whole town's a bad feeling, Viper.
Yeah.
That's why I like it so much.
You willing to die for it?
I'm willing to die with it.
They took out the bombs.
All of them?
Yeah.
Ooh.
According to Adder with a werewolf. Did you know werewolves know how to use computers? Because I sure as fuck didn't.
That makes them smarter than half the Camarilla, at least.
Oh, you're funny today, huh, boss? Full of yucks.
Viper, I have been around long time, centuries even. You don't get to where I am without running into complications, scary circumstances. This is not the end of the world. This is not the end of our time. Not if we're clever about it. Besides, maybe they'll take me up on my offer this time and actually listen to it.
Yeah, if they ever show up.
I mean, if they don't show up, then what's to be afraid of?
Boss, we have a message, right? We have a purpose that goes beyond just existing. I'm sure a lot of other cities would be grateful for our liberation.
Do you know what part of that message is, though? It's longevity. It's perseverance through the struggle, in the face of the struggle. Sure, a lot of cities would be more than happy to take what we got, but how many of them are going to hold on to it as tightly, as strongly, if we just pick up and run the moment things get tough? How hard do you think they're going to believe if it looks like we don't? This is the message, Viper.
I want it to endure. I do. I'm just not convinced this is the way to do it. I think we should leave Myrtle Beach for them to eat each other alive. The Anarchs already took out the Camarilla. They're already doing our work for us. They'll kill each other next.
They'll do it faster if we're here stoking the flames.
They won't trust us anymore.
Honestly, I'm up in the air if they ever trusted to begin with. Hell, they walked into Karma already distrusting me. Hadn't even spoken to me yet. What's changed? They made their opinion before they even laid eyes, before they set foot. Nothing's changed. We made our way anyway.
And what about Victoria?
Well, we'll have to see if they take the deal or not.
I'm gonna go check the cameras again. Because I can't just sit here anymore. Or pace here anymore.
Have faith, Viper. Have faith.
Eternally inset. Gonna move our scene now to outside the pyramid. Anthony, you have arrived. Victoria and Isaiah have also arrived. You see a group of Thin Bloods are already here. And both of you recognize, Anthony, you recognize both of them. Victoria, you only recognize one of them. Two people. Ella, the werewolf that Victoria you met the night you met with the werewolves. And Anthony, you recognize the other person with her, her husband, Freeland. They're both standing with the Thin Bloods. They're standing very far away. They look a little, maybe disgusted is too strong of a word, but they look a little standoffish, a little like, but they are here. They turn as your car pulls in. You see Victoria and Isaiah pull in as well. Both of you can converge here if you'd like to say something to each other or to anyone who is presently here. You don't see Astrid or Hunter. Not yet, anyway. And you're not in front of the pyramid. You are significant enough away. You actually have to, there's no parking here. You actually have to walk.
All right. Well, I'm not exactly on buddy terms with the lupines, so I will keep my distance, approach slowly, but slowly enough that hopefully other people will arrive before I need to engage in pleasant conversation. Already running through my mind what manner of things I can speak to these people about, the weather, state of things, kids these days, and so on.
What about you, Victoria? You, of course, see Caden amongst the Thin Bloods here, and Tom. And, of course, you see Anthony as well.
I think I will check in with the Thin Bloods, at least briefly. Keep an eye on Anthony and the Lupines in case things get volatile.
Ella will approach both of you, and she'll say, well, good evening.
Good evening.
It's a fine night for a siege, is it not?
I would suppose so. It's not raining.
We do appreciate how loyal you are to honoring our contract, our alliance, our peace accord. We have a very serious situation happening with Julia. And Galen is really, I think, the only one amongst you who could help her. Which is why I'm here instead of Jan. And Freeland is here for moral support.
I'm glad that he can be of assistance.
He's much better with his hands than with his claws.
Always has been.
Mm-hmm. Where's the rest of your companions, or did they decide that Myrtle Beach isn't worth saving?
We generally don't travel in the same car, so I would assume they're on their way.
You're looking good this evening. Where's your friend? Your human friend?
I had to run a couple of errands, and he's a little bit more, well, he's not quite as good at taking the bullet to the guts and standing.
That is the unfortunate thing about humans, yes.
Tend to be a little fragile.
But
Not us,
I appreciate your concern.
Concern. Okay. That's one word for it.
Curiosity.
Well,
Yeah.
you don't have to be a supernatural detector to have felt the power coming off of him.
No. It's unfortunate that he can't help us tonight, but I do believe he's better off not engaging in this.
I'm sure that's exactly what you believe. And she winks at you. And as she does so, Astrid and Hunter, wits and awareness for Anthony and Victoria. Just want to see if you see this. Poor Ella, I can't do her voice because I'm too sick. Just as an aside, Anthony, you have all of the grenades inside your flesh pocket. That's a very good roll. What did you roll, Victoria?
4 successes.
Okay, so both of you, as you're talking to Ella, both of you see out of the corner of your eye. You see over by one of the cars that was already here when you got here, might belong to one of the Thin Bloods. You see all of this shadow come pooling from underneath it. It looks like oil at first. Then maybe the car has a leak, but the oil starts to form into an oval that goes above the car, around the mirror, and before both of your eyes, you see Astrid walk through first, her eyes completely black, and she then pulls Hunter out of this portal with her. Astrid looks completely fine. She doesn't look like she's terrified or having any sort of issue here. Hunter, however, looks like he might have just been through the worst experience of his entire unlife. If he was still breathing, he might have turned completely white. He might be breathless. It's hard to say, but the look in his eyes is the look of, I've seen some shit. But actually, Hunter, you didn't. That entire time you were there, it felt like it lasted for decades. You felt like you were in that portal for years. It was horrible. You felt nothing. You were nowhere. You heard nothing and saw no one. And now here you are, in front of all of your friends, in front of the Hard Rock Cafe.
I'm gonna need a minute.
Oh.
I just put my head between my knees.
Oh my gosh, she just kneels next to him. Oh, would I know what happened to him?
No. The very first time you ever traveled through the Beyond the Shroud, you were totally fine. It was scary to see the labyrinth and stuff, but you didn't feel bad.
Okay, she's gonna kneel and she's gonna like hug
And
him.
Anthony and Victoria, you would see Hunter sort of double over and put his head between his knees like he's nauseous or something.
I will
She
head over and just
presses him
keep an eye on
closer.
him.
She's like trying to.
Yeah, no,
You-
I'm
Are you all right?
I don't know. I will be good enough to get this done. Finally. Did you do it, Astrid?
I did.
Then it was worth it.
What?
Nothing. It was nothing, Astrid. What have you done?
I made a promise. I would bring Camarilla back to Myrtle Beach.
Of course.
I had to.
Is it worth it?
Yes. If all else fails,
Hmm.
we will do this.
We've kicked the Camarilla out before. I'm sure we can do it again.
My thought process was more along the lines of if I do it, they won't send someone else.
Oh.
at least you have a good working relationship with the Baron. Hmm?
That was gonna be my trump card.
Well, the Baron is busy dealing with some emergencies, but I'm sure he trusts you implicitly.
As a side note, Astrid, part of the caveat of Anita teaching you this ability is that should you use it, that the spirit of the person you use it upon be given to her.
Figured. Yeah, and I think I know why as well. Yeah, makes sense. She doesn't elaborate.
Right. I believe then, if we are ready to continue, we are all here.
She does kind of cup Hunter's face and just kisses his forehead, and holds him for a moment longer. And then slowly gets up and takes him up to his feet with her.
I'm okay. Just, even that hunter gun only seems appropriate.
Anthony has possession of all the hunter weapons
All right.
inside of him.
Give me a
You want me to
moment.
reach in and root around, or
Don't worry. There's, I'll deal with it. I retrieve the necessary items. There's no point in keeping. Actually, there is. I'll keep the red gas grenade safely inside, safely tucked away.
So, what about the sunrise grenade?
That one we'll bring out.
Okay. And we have Ralphus rounds, we have a Ralphus pistol, and we have a Ralphus shotgun.
I am no good with guns,
Hunter is.
so
Would
shotgun.
Hunter like the shotgun, or would Hunter like the pistol?
yes,
Which is bigger than a pistol. It's a 45, so.
I will take the shotgun.
Or a 44. I believe it's a 44, actually. I believe it's a Magnum. Okay, so a shotgun. Astrid, do you have Dotson in well, I can't think of the word, firearms?
Do I think I always carry a gun on my...
Yes, but this is a incendiary rounds. This is a gun
Okay.
specifically. This is a hunter gun. Okay, so
Give me!
you can have the it's a heavy gun, so you can have that.
Yes.
Anthony's gonna hold on to all the grenades. Victoria has is a weapon, basically. Is a walking weapon. And Ella walks over and she slaps you on the shoulder, Hunter. What is this? So y'all can travel through the Umbra. Is that what happened? Is that where you went?
I don't
First
know what
time?
that means. I don't know where I've been.
It's a little startling the first time, we'll admit.
It wasn't for me. I thought it wasn't going to be for you either, but I had no idea.
Then we couldn't have known. But was it the Umbra? Is that the same thing?
Don't know. What did it look like?
Everything and nothing forever.
Oh. That's part of the Umbra. That's the lower Umbra. That's where the dead go. You do dead stuff?
Sometimes.
You do dead magic?
A
I
little.
point at Astrid.
I use what I've been given. Let's put it this way.
Well, like I said, you learn something new every day, and I'm learning so much about you leeches. Logging it all the way, I promise.
You're very free to ask whatever you would like to.
I'm aware, and I will. We travel, where we travel is a little bit different. We call it the Spirit Wilds. It's where the spirits of nature live, and less pleasant things. It kind of looks like our world, but a little bit different. It's hard to explain. Kind of have to be there.
I would be curious to see it, but I don't know whether that's something that can happen. If it can't, that's...
Well, if you have no trouble traveling to the land of the dead, I don't think the Umbra would surprise you all too much. But that we'll have to wait to see if if we make it through the night.
I was going to say, we might want to survive this night before we go thinking about future nights. Shall we?
As I was to understand, Galen said that you received a letter from this person, this leech, offering peace terms. I assume you don't want me at your side. I will, of course, be happy to stomp my dirty boots all up on his floor, but I leave it to your discretion if you want me inside or outside.
If it's all the same to you, perhaps outside as a precaution. If we go in swinging immediately, I think peace talks might disintegrate before we even start them.
Sure. I'll babysit the kids out here.
Much obliged.
While the kids are out here, may it be a good idea to leave the people who will not be disintegrated immediately with the sunlight grenade.
What's a sunlight grenade?
That's what that sounds like.
I won't be disintegrated immediately. I quite enjoy the sun.
I'm jealous.
Well,
Makes
since the
sense.
cat is out of the bag, I hold up the sunlight grenade. This thing will simulate sunlight. I'm sure you understand what a large amount of trust I'm putting into you and your people by giving you this.
Oh, I was saying the thin bloods, but sure.
Oh, well, still holding on to it, but well, maybe the thin bloods need it more. You seem quite capable of protecting yourself.
That is correct.
I will call over Caden.
Caden was sort of already patiently waiting for you to call him.
Yes, Anthony, if you're alright with it.
Of course.
It might be it might be good to leave the thin bloods with just such a way to protect themselves.
Last resort kind of thing. We only have the one, and once it's gone, it's gone. So make it count if you need to use it.
Are you leaving it with Caden?
Yes.
And Caden is not a thin blood anymore, he's a gangrel, but
Well,
Caden will hold on to it.
Caden knows his people more than we do, so I'm sure he will give it to the appropriate person.
Is there any other preparations that you'd like to make?
As we are talking to get Caden,
Mhm.
all I do is I silently walk up to him and give him a hug.
Caden seems shocked at first and hugs you right back.
Matter of time, is this the same evening as when we cleared out the explosives?
It is not.
It is not.
Mm-mm.
Should we roll for hunger?
Yes, you should. Thank you very much. Everyone, give me a rouse check, please.
You're quite well.
I love the person in class who reminds the teacher to give them homework. Because that would have been me had I ever been to school.
We're also getting our willpower back, I presume, then.
Yes. You can
Good.
clear up your willpower. Any damage that you receive, which I don't think anyone got hurt.
Well, I'm hungry.
You're always hungry, Anthony.
Yes. Well,
You should be at 3 hunger.
that's my secret storyteller.
You should be at 3 hunger.
I get hungrier.
And Victoria is at 3 hunger as well. Astrid is at 2 hunger, I believe. Or are you at 3 hunger? Are you 2 or 3
I
hunger?
think two, because I would have started a night with 1, I guess.
Yes, but I think it's 3, and I'm going to check in just a second. Hunter should be at 2.
Oh, yeah.
I was at 2. Well,
Everybody's at 3 hunger. Well, you're here, but if we want to, let me just check Astrid's really quick.
I'm still at 0.
Yeah.
There are.
Yeah.
I hate to be the one, but there's quite a large amount of thin bloods around us. I'm
Oh,
sure
there
one or
sure
two
are.
wouldn't be missed if they gone.
There sure are. Astrid, you are at 3 hunger. That's right. Yes, I do remember you had an issue. So you're at 4 hunger now. You were at 3 hunger last time we played, so you're at 4 hunger now.
Damn.
Okay.
We need a pit stop, guys. This is not working.
So like I said, we're not in front of the pyramid at the moment. And what I'm going to do is something I've never really done, and I've watered very many complaints. Water's not the word I'm looking for, but very many complaints about it. Weathered, thank you. Where I don't make you roll for your predator types when you hunt. So that's what we're going to do now. Final episode, 3 years in. That's what we're going to do now. Let me just very quickly, because I'm sort of blanking on everyone's predator types for some reason. If everyone wants to remind me what they are.
If you recall, I tried to diabolarize.
Yes, you did, and then you gave blood back to
that is true.
Python, and I told you to increase your hunger by 2 because you couldn't talk, and then you rolled a failure just now, so you're at 3 hunger.
That is true. So I rolled what? Did you say?
Excuse me. So Blood Leech doesn't have a pool, so we're gonna have to wait. We're gonna have to come swing back around to you and see if any of your coterie want to feed you.
Perfectly fine.
Victoria, what are you?
I am Sandman.
You are Sandman. Okay. So roll me Dexterity Stealth. You are Siren. Is that correct, Josh?
Oh yes.
Charisma.
Manipulation.
Charisma
Charisma.
subterfuge.
I have it as manipulation persuasion. But...
I believe with the player's guide, it was changed to Charisma subterfuge. Let me check that really quick.
Oh, okay.
Page 308. Yeah. So it's Charisma subterfuge. Astrid, what were you?
Consensualist.
Consensualist. Okay. Manipulation persuasion.
Right.
And Baron, you're fine. So everybody, give me those rolls.
Just curious, Huddy. We don't have to hunt according to our predator types. They're suggestions, correct?
That's correct, but because
Unless, of course,
because we're running a streamed game and also we're on a time crunch, I can't play out everyone's feeding. Astrid, you can remove 2 dots of hunger. Josh, you can remove 1 dot. Not as successful. Couldn't get the mojo running on the short time frame, I guess. So you can remove 1 dot of hunger.
Had a quickie.
What about you, Victoria?
5 successes.
Okay, 5 successes for Victoria. So you can remove your hunger down to 1. Or down to 0 if you wanted to kill him.
Nah. I'm gonna go with 1.
And so, Anthony, you're at 3 hunger. If you would like to feed off of one of your coterie mates, probably your best bet to ask is Victoria. Astrid comes back. She looks pretty good. She looks maybe a little hungry. Hunter still looks pretty hungry. And Victoria looks completely satiated. So I'll let you choose who you'd like to.
For luck, would you mind if I popped up a bit?
Very well.
I appreciate it. I promise I won't take too much.
How many would you like to take?
2.
2. So Victoria, 2 rouse checks, please.
Come on.
You remove 2, Anthony?
Yes.
Success and success.
Okay, and Victoria doesn't gain any hunger from that. And Anthony, for the moment, you have a blood bond to Victoria.
That is perfectly fine.
It's fine.
That's perfectly fine.
Yep. So, that is what it is. All right. So, now that everyone's had a little bit to eat, not everyone got as full as Victoria and Anthony, but, that's sometimes the way it goes. We are going to head into the pyramid. I'd like to know, 1, who's taking point, who's going in first. And then I would like to know, Baron, exactly your position on your throne of what they see when they walk in. So who would like to lead point? Oh, okay. So we're going to do Astrid and Victoria walking side by side into the pyramid. Anthony and Hunter at their back. Is anyone else coming with you, or is this a private party? Is everyone else waiting outside for screams?
Considering the invitation was quite formal, I would imagine it would be rude to bring lupines along.
Yes.
We'll give them like a signal for the people outside or something.
We'll live in the 2020s. We can text them if something happens. It's not that complicated.
We'll be keeping an ear out. And Freeland has all sorts of very strange technology. He might be recording this or listening in some way.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
I have to ask something, though.
Mm-hmm.
Did I break our foes by taking Hunter with me, though?
Did you break your what?
Phones. We have phones on us when we went into
Oh, yeah, they're completely broken.
Sorry. Cloud saving is a thing. It's okay. I'm so sorry.
Nobody checked, but yeah, your phones are completely destroyed.
Sorry. That happens.
All those selfies, Hunter. What are you going to do?
No, like
Unfortunately, I
said,
have Caden to
Caden
do
will
the
recover,
Instagram.
don't
You should have upgraded your iStore account for more storage.
It's not worth it.
App Store, iStore, whatever.
Baron, how are you as they enter your haven?
So I guess the question is the whole crew that you said I have here, or are they scattered around the city?
They are here in this building. They are where
Yes.
you want them.
Okay. So what you see is Viper is sitting at one little desk that has a couple of monitors on it. He's been watching cameras. I'm assuming that there are cameras outside, so I know that there are people outside now.
You would have noticed them approaching, yeah. Where they were having
Yeah.
their rendezvous point was sort of in the parking lot where you actually then have to walk through Broadway at the beach.
Gotcha. Adder is not seen at the moment. You see a couple of Thin Bloods. For the sake of meta, the rest are out of sight at the moment, but ready. And inside it still looks like it's under construction. It looks like this place never actually got built up into anything. When I say it looks like it's still under construction, I don't mean that Conanti himself is doing construction. I mean that he acquired this when they were tearing it down or building it up and then never did anything. So it's still just tarps everywhere and makeshift tables, temporary tables, etc., and then whatever was left of the Hard Rock Cafe. The back half of the room behind him is pitch black. You cannot see past his throne. Total darkness. I say throne; it's a marble chair. But he's sitting in it like one, just sort of lounged in it. But he is on his phone, very modern phone, on a website playing Snake as he speaks.
My final question then before we begin.
Yes.
Is your heart back in your chest or not?
No.
Then please
it
remember
is-
that 2 ag damage that is permanent on
Oh, yeah,
you.
it's-
back in.
Yeah, it's still on my sheet and it is still in its location.
All right.
It is accessible but not visible. So I'll just be on my phone and then until I hear everybody finally come in and look up. Viper was certain y'all weren't gonna read my message and come. I told him to have faith. Look at it. You got the message. And here you are. Welcome, everybody. So nice to see you again under better circumstances.
Conanti.
Love what you've done with the place.
Thank you. Figured I'd go a little more low key for now. We've got Karma on the beach anyway. It's take the party to the people. Here's just for me to unwind, relax, do my planning, etc., etc. At that, he gestures, and you do see on some tables, not enough to actually make anything, but components that would have been for explosives, like timers and whatnot.
That's quite a party. I see you still enjoy the sound of your own voice.
Of course, it's music to my ears and to everybody else's if they care to listen.
But we didn't shoot you on sight.
Exactly. And I'm grateful for that. And speaking of listen, that is exactly why I invited you here, so that you could listen, and I could listen. Maybe we can actually do what I wrote on that tablet. The last chance for peace. What y'all say?
I'm interested in knowing what peace means to you.
Gonna look around. No, Galen?
I'm sorry
Figures.
he couldn't make it.
I took a
No,
friend
it's-
where you put his name.
It's typical Baron stuff. Send the underlings to do all the dirty work while you sit back safe and sound. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, that's all right.
No.
I'd rather talk with y'all anyway. What does peace look like to me? Peace looks like an end to bullets, an end to fire, end to looking over each other's shoulders, not knowing who's coming from where, who to trust. Peace looks like an end to your inconveniences, namely me.
I have to ask, Baron Conanti. I was under the presumption that the Sabbat was an army. I'm not sure you are allowed to make peace, are you?
Sabbat works a good deal differently than it did when I got involved in things. And besides, I am always who I have always been, which is a child set first. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Child is set first. Sabbat comes second. Faith is still faith, though.
Well, the Sabbat must have certainly changed if you dared to declare that out open. They would have wrung you dry if they heard that.
Oh, yes. Operation First Lights thought of that nicely. Now, there's a whole lot of behind-the-scenes work going on.
Yeah.
I was a late joiner, though.
You should share stories sometimes. I'm sure you got a lot to tell.
We'll see how tonight ends, won't we? Maybe we'll have time for stories after all. No, gentlemen, ladies, everybody in between and around, I do, in fact, want peace. I want an end to this. I am willing to lay down my burdens, lay down my plans, and get out of all of your hair, as proverbial as it may be for some. And just exist. Maybe not even here. Maybe a different place entirely. I am willing to finally give you the peace that you have wanted so badly. The peace of mind, the peace of night.
Forgive me for saying so, but that seems quite the change of heart. What brought this along?
It's a mix of things. First of all, it's been a very complicated time here. Y'all have seen to that very nicely. It's hard to really set your roots down when people won't even listen to you, have a conversation with you, talk things out. Everybody just goes straight to shooting. Again, I'm grateful for the change of heart on your side of things for this night. But honestly, after that, I had a run-in with an old friend not too long ago who helped me shift my perspective a little bit, give me a sense of what it is that I really want out of things. I was losing sight of the main focus, losing sight of what all of this was actually hinging on. I was just going too big, too grandiose, as I tend to do. So I'm willing to scale it back. She was right. I needed to reassess my position.
And what is it that you have discovered, Conanti?
That I've been doing all of this for you, Victoria. That was the whole point I came here for anyway, wasn't it? Caught you with your pants down, put you in a torpor, messed with your folks while I set up my place. And I just sort of kept on going, but you got out. Caused all sorts of damage. to my people and my location yet again. Yet again. And I reacted yet again. You broke my home, so I broke yours yet again. And I tried to escalate yet again. I've been going way too big, and I haven't been putting my focus where it belongs, which is on you.
It's been a game of, how do you say, cat and mouse for how many decades now?
Too many. So that's what I'm offering, folks. I will end my mission, my party, my reign of terror, whatever it is that you want to call it in your minds. I'll give you what you want. You give me what I want. There's an end to my focus. I want her. And then I'm gone. No more blood, no more damage, no more chaos in the night. Mission accomplished.
That's entirely up to her, isn't it?
I mean, on one hand, yes, autonomy and all that. On the other hand, she's going to have to factor in, does she want to yet again be responsible for all your fates, the city's fate, with what I do in response? Does she want to be responsible for the fallout yet again? Does she want to be responsible for the blood yet again? So I'd say y'all have a bit of a say in the matter. It ultimately rests on her, but please, let your voices be heard.
It's funny that you seem to believe that because someone has wronged you, you're free to lash out and do whatever you want to other people uninvolved in the situation. Which
Oh, you're all involved.
No, I'm speaking of the rest of the city. It's funny how you mix up right and wrong with your own sense of pride and your own sense of, what is the word? Entitlement. You believe you're free to get retribution because of a slight.
I'm only
Anthony.
given what was given to me. Isn't that right, Victoria?
I'd call it more than just a mere slight. It was...
Say it.
It was brutality. For the sake of it. It was an order that I carried out. An order that I clung to.
Passed down by the sword of the great Xander.
And it was easy. When I was staring him down, when he looked me in the face and said, "You will do this for me." But I suppose you can only use the excuse of following orders for so long before it starts to ring hollow.
Victoria, forgive me for interrupting this very touching moment of coming to terms with what he has done, but I have seen nothing but responsibility and growth from you for the last however many years that you have been here. You tore some people apart, of course. Who hasn't? But unlike this Disco Stew over here, you seem to have grown out of the past. He came here mentioning that we could not stand to find more bloodshed to prevent our looking over our shoulders, not knowing who to trust. I know who to trust. It is these people standing beside me. So, Victoria, I do not want you to die or go away or anything. I would not be willing to trade you, any of you. You are all a king's fortune to me.
That means a lot, Hunter. Truly it does. And I appreciate what you say. I have tried to temper my brutality. And I like to think the reason that I was able to do that was because of all of you. Because of Galen. Because I was given the opportunity to try and be something better. And Conanti, I never gave you that opportunity. And for that I am truly, deeply sorry. I put you in that box. I delegated you into that role of the bloodthirsty thing that I needed to hunt because I was told to. And for that, I am sorry.
You're sorry. You're sorry for the wholesale slaughter of not just kindred, but ghouls and humans in a locked room. You're sorry for taking away the one thing I wanted, which was just to exist. See, Hunter's wrong. I did grow out of the past as well. Because I wasn't this. I got made this. I just wanted to exist like I'm offering you right now, and you fucking did this. You want to apologize? You're sorry?
Yes. Orders only go so far. People have hidden behind that for decades, for centuries, claimed that they were doing what they had to because their betters told them that it was right. But it is a coward's way.
You can all see Conanti for the first time that you've all known him, not Victoria, but the rest of you, not looking completely set and confident and certain.
Conanti, I do not break eye contact with you. And you can see, in all of the time that I have known you, all of the time that we have played this game, shed all this blood, it is the truth.
I called you friend. And you brought the sword to my door.
Yes.
And in turn, I brought it back to yours. I trapped you. I tricked your new friends. I convinced your love of something that wasn't before I threw him off the top of that Ferris wheel. Caused more destruction and uncertainty. Swung right back, didn't I?
The wheel turns over and over. But what if someone was to stop it turning?
Go on.
Oh, Galen's going to kill me for this. Is that all you want? My destruction? Will that be the end of all of this? For you, for me? Will that be enough for both of us to move on, me to whatever awaits after this unlife, and you to exist in peace, finally?
You're willing to give it?
I look at Hunter and Astrid and Anthony. We are done if I don't. Either by bloodshed here or by what is coming.
If you die, if you let Conanti kill you, do you not believe that Galen will want to kill Conanti in return? You know him.
It'll keep spinning, this wheel that you're talking about. He is not gonna let it rest.
Will you, Conanti?
I'm here.
This is no deal. I don't like it.
You don't have to like it. It's my life.
It is, but it is also his. What does he give up? What does he put down? You could just bury this hatchet right here if you are so diplomatically inclined. The two of you just walk away, bury the hatchet. Be better or be nothing.
I did count you friend. For what it's worth. And the choice I made it has been my one true regret. In all of my centuries, that I was so willing to turn from someone I counted friend on account of fear.
Come up here and face me, Victoria.
If you three move on this, I swear I will end all of you. And I will approach.
Not getting up or reaching over with just his foot, he pulls over just like a typical dining chair, like haphazardly in front of him. Sit.
We're not letting this happen, right?
We can't, Victoria!
Wait. Just wait. Please. And I will sit.
Once you're dead, this place turns into a burning pyre.
Give him a chance, Hunter. Give him the chance I never gave him.
And you can tell like Conanti's been listening to every word that has been spoken since the apology started. He reaches into his coat and pulls out the very large pole anaconda. Puts it on the armrest. Reaches over and around, and you all hear a metallic clink. Some sort of mechanism is moved. And his hand comes back up with a very slowly pulsating heart, with blood still staining between the fingers. You helped me pull this out. Those decades ago. I may have physically removed it, but you're the one that carved.
Yes. I will not deny it.
You took mine. And I took yours. With one very quick movement, he slams it against his chest, and Storyteller, using vicissitude, I'm going to merge it back into my chest, undoing Heart in the Darkness.
I'm not going to require a mechanical roll for you to do that. However, just as a mechanical aside, now, should you wish to, you can heal that 2 ag. Well,
Yes.
you can heal 1 ag tonight, anyway.
Yes. Go ahead and check. I go up to 1 hunger, but it heals.
That
So
would just
this-
leave you with 1 ag on your sheet.
So just the front just splattered in blood. Wheel never stops turning, does it?
It does. Now stop turning. You can make it stop turning.
There's nothing left to justify this chase, AP. I cannot hide behind orders and honor any longer, and I should not have done it from the start. And I am sorry it took me this long to own up to that.
I'm sorry too. Viper, Outer.
They are at either of your side immediately.
Shut it down.
Viper walks back over to the monitor. He smashes it with the billy club he has in his thing. Smashes the other monitor. kicks over the tower, kicks it again until it smashes. Adder starts breaking down other things in the Hard Rock Cafe.
Conanti stands up and holds a hand out to Victoria.
I will stand and take his hand.
It's the one that his heart was in, so that's all over your hand now as well. I'm sorry too.
I'll hug his hand and wrap an arm around his shoulders.
He doesn't move to return it that anybody can see, but Victoria can feel him lean in heavier. That's about it. It's going to take me a bit to get things sorted up here and whatnot before we figure out where's next. Hope you don't begrudge me that.
I think we can all be amenable to that. I'll look to the others for confirmation.
I would like to speak with Conanti as well, one-on-one later. But I'm sure we can accommodate your need to readjust.
We can all have words before y'all head back out. And he snaps and waves, and from the darkness you all hear something very large move away until the sound is gone.
I just add that throughout that conversation, Astrid has started to invoke the new power, but has since stopped.
Then I will ask for one rouse check, since you told me. Such good students here today.
That's a failure. Let's go.
Well, I'm not so much worried about failures. That was a 2. Real close to being a 1.
Oh, well.
So you do get hungrier. So you're at hunger, I believe, 2 now? Hunger 3. Should be at hunger 3. So you get a little hungrier, but you stopped. What about you, Hunter? Hunter, if I am gauging his reaction correctly as the storyteller, is not happy about any of this.
No, it might be a good idea to do a frenzy check at some point in the near future. But
I'm happy to do one now.
Okay.
An anger frenzy check? I'm happy to do one now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He is mortified by all of this.
The storyteller is rather surprised as well. I'm not going to lie.
What is...
I don't believe Astrid would be subject to a frenzy check over this. I don't believe Anthony would either. Anthony is far too cool, calm, and collected all the time.
I also haven't lost a lot of personal people, a few, but not as many as Hunter.
With 5? Hunter, yeah, you are feeling however it is that you would like to interpret Hunter's feelings, but you are not going to lose control.
Okay, and in that case, I think it is clear that all over his face he is pure rage, but it is not bestial.
Can I take it as read that Hunter would like, or as much as he can in this moment without feeling bestial, would like some sort of assurance that Conanti will not darken his doorway again? Can I take that as read?
Yes, he'd also like to ask Conanti something now.
Yes,
if
please.
there's time for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's start sort of one-on-one conversation, since Victoria and Conanti had an extended conversation. Let's start with Hunter and Conanti, as Viper and Adder and whoever was behind Conanti, whatever it was, now gone, are starting to pack up things, break things that don't seem like they're of any value, but must be of some sort of value.
Yeah, Conanti's just sort of standing in front of his chair, waiting for like the other thin bloods to come in and like pack things up and whatnot as well. So yeah, any conversations that want to happen can happen.
Yeah, I guess Hunter comes up to him by the throne, and yeah, it's obvious that he's seething with rage, but through that he kind of pushes a if this is truly your new leaf, there are promises that you need to make, and reparations as well. I'm not talking about me, I'm not talking about my ward's arm. You yourself have recognized the sheer scale of violence you have visited upon this strip. The people, the kindred, your own followers, and clearly your own soul. If you want to repair that, I need to know what it is you are going to do.
Anybody that wants to come along is going to come along. But I'm not dragging anybody with me. I'm not setting up shop here anymore. From the look on your face, though, you've got some ideas.
I'll be honest. I think I would rather you stay, so I can see the change.
Hunter.
If we are to give up Victoria,
Hunter, are you gonna miss me?
there will be a very large hole in my heart left where the seething hate has festered itself, yes.
I'm not taking Victoria.
Tell me in a straight line. A real answer. What are you going to do?
I'm going to leave with anybody that wants to come with me. Unless you've got a better idea. You think that me staying isn't going to ruffle feathers and cause more of an outbreak? We can talk about that. But you gotta keep in mind, just because I'm not doing the Sabbat thing does not mean that I am not still of the church. I was that before I ever met Victoria. That was who she met and accepted me as.
Victoria, are you going with him? Are you really going with him?
At this point, it seems that we might not have to take such drastic measures.
Baron, roll me an intelligence and occult roll, please. That should be a pretty good dice pool for you.
Surprisingly, it's not. But it's 2 successes.
I'm going to give you an extra dice specifically because of a specific thing that I'm thinking of.
That gives me 3 then.
You've been around for a really, really long time.
Mm-hmm.
You have been a part of the Church of Set for a very, very long time. In addition to that, you are aware of multiple different sects and cults among the kindred. You've rubbed elbows with them many, many times. You are aware of a certain, say, subsect of kindred who have fallen prey to the beckoning. Heard about it. Hasn't happened to you yet for whatever reason. It's very esoteric in its nature. But you are aware of kindred who, one, have returned from it, supposedly, and two kindred who have fought it off. If this is something you'd like to offer Victoria, I will allow it. But she would have to go with you so you can search out these places. However, you need not say anything at all.
Very codedly, I'll say, if y'all want me to stay, then I can stay. If you want me to go, I can go. And like I said, anybody that wants to come with me can come with me. I'm going many places and meeting many people, someone that I'm sure Victoria here would even love to have a conversation with, given our shared age and experiences. But I've got
Sort of.
options, it seems.
I do sort of freeze at that.
Yeah.
If we wanted to be very specific, 3 successes, you said?
Mhm.
Very specifically, there is a kindred, a Nosferatu in Athens, Greece, that you are aware of who has gone to the beckoning and returned.
So I'll add on, like, well, if you want, I can go as far away from here as possible. I hear the Mediterranean's rather nice this time of night.
If I let go of this hatred and I stop whatever cycle that you are trying to break, I would like a very solemn vow to codify that, both of you. Call it a
Vow you-
conviction. You will both forego visiting violence.
At our age, that is a tall order, but I will offer you foregoing visiting violence for violence sake.
There is a chance, Hunter, that if I do go with him, I may be able to return and not have further issue like I have been.
In that case, if you do return, until that time, you will call each other coterie, and anyone that comes with you.
Conanti's, yeah, exactly like you just did, Laura. Conanti's eyes just sort of roll over to Victoria. Like, this is happening.
Can't help but laugh a little.
I like your tenacity, Hunter.
Please don't laugh. It's making this very difficult for me.
I guarantee you that should Victoria not return, it will not be because of me in any fashion.
I have been fighting against this pull for ages now. It is exhausting. It is... There may be a time if I don't go that I will look at you and not remember your face, Hunter. Or I will look at Astrid and have no idea who she is. Or, God forbid, Galen. I'm sorry to take this away from you, this chance at retribution, but like I said, eventually someone has to stop the wheel from turning.
Victoria, I want you to be free of that burden. So I support anything that allows you to do that.
Thank you, my friend.
I know you are both shining examples of furious weapons, so you will be safe wherever you go. Don't smile like that, Conanti. Fuck off. I turn around and leave.
Astrid, is there anything that you'd like to discuss privately with Conanti or Victoria? Or would you like to follow Hunter outside? Knowing the deal that you made, that likely you didn't have to make. With no way of seeing into your future, you did what you thought you had to in the moment. Much like Victoria, the decisions she had made.
She watches Hunter grow and then pauses briefly, just looking up to Conanti, and says, "We will rebuild. We will find our own way forward here. The next time I see you, and there will be a next time, I feel, things will be different. I am hoping for the better, because hope is the last thing that dies."
Do you know why I liked you the most out of this group, Astrid?
Do enlighten me.
You're the only one that listened the whole way through. You're the only one that didn't jump to attack. I watched. Everybody else swung their weapons. You may have been ready to. You actually listened. It's valuable.
It is. Information is always important. So here's something I will tell you. The next time you see me, you will call me Prince.
I certainly do hope so.
She turns and she leaves.
Anthony, that leaves you alone of your coterie here. Victoria, of course, you are still here with Conanti.
I would like to speak with the Baron on my own, if that is all right. Victoria.
Can certainly step out, Victoria, to say goodbye to Caden.
I do have a number of goodbyes to say, if we are moving forward with this plan.
Yes, you do.
I will reach my hand out to Anthony.
I'll take it. Squeeze it.
Be well, my friend. I will step outside.
I killed 3 of your men. Drained them dry. Destroyed one soul completely. You hate me for that.
I'd expect no less of a dragon.
It's funny. When you came here, the first time we spoke, I was considering jumping ship. Joining you. You seem to have your shit together. Then I found out what you were. And I was reminded of who I was.
What is that?
You were far older than me. But you were human once, just like me. My name was Robin. I was taken when I was in New York. I was buried in a shallow grave. Made to fight, made to torture. A soldier, in the army of Cain. Perhaps not quite like you. But similar enough. And then I left. Ran away. Came here. Fully set on destroying every one of our kind that I could find. That's why I killed your men. That's why I came here tonight. To kill you. But you know what? I think there's been enough killing. And I am... well, I hate to ape the two of you, but I am also sorry for what I have done. And if I can recompense you in any way, let me know. And if you want to talk with someone about your time in the sword, then I am willing to listen.
Do the rest of your friends know your story?
No, not all of it. Parts, bits and pieces. You're the first one I've met that was part of it.
Well, Robin. My name is Gideon. And your secret is safe with me.
It's a pleasure, Gideon. Hold up my hand.
I will take it.
Still human.
Somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there. Good luck. And if you're still in town or come by, then just give me a call. Gideon.
I expect I will. I wasn't lying. Do actually like this place.
It has its charm. Spring break's not so nice, but the rest of the time it's fine.
Like I told you, it's the culture.
Yeah. I'm more of a deep dish Lake Michigan kind of guy, but it's growing on me.
Take care of yourself, Anthony.
You too. And I leave.
As the last member of the Myrtle Beach coterie leaves, Conanti, you stand in this room alone. Everything demolished, broken down. Footsteps get quiet. Everything gets darker.
Just take in that silence for a bit.
As you take in that silence, the lights get dimmer. As the power and the utility starts getting shut off somewhere below you. As Scene fades. Camera pans out to watch the coterie walking back out into Broadway at the beach, stopping the villain, so to speak, with words rather than swords. And perhaps not a certain, but for sure, a new path moving forward, a new future of the Grand Strand. That is where we are going to end our vampire story, Blood on the Grand Strand, for this evening. I want to thank everyone here present so very, very much for having been part of this. Some of you have been part of this story with me since before it began, back on Josh's Twitch channel, telling a Halloween one-shot when this story was conceived in my labyrinthian enigma of a brain. And some of you joined just in the last season, like Laura, who absolutely solidified their place right away and made this story incredibly beautiful. Zach, you came in as the quintessential charismatic villain, and you left as someone who is perhaps a new protagonist going into perhaps another game I could run out in Athens. I mean, I'm totally shocked. I'm losing my ability to word because I had no idea that this was going to happen. And I really don't know how to react in this moment because I had so many possibilities going through my brain, but this wasn't one of them that I legitimately thought this was going to happen, and I don't know what to do. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go around and I want everyone to maybe say a little bit about their character or Blood on the Grand Strand or whatever it's meant to them. If it's meant nothing, then you can just say your name and we'll pass it along. So I guess we're going to start with Chris.
All right.
Say something.
Okay, I guess I'm going to break character.
The first time ever.
Yeah, I know.
I will. I have had an absolutely wonderful time. It has been emotionally exhausting. There have been times where I've gotten tension headaches from this game. Anthony is not a character I usually play, a kind of character. But I have not regretted a moment of this. It has been amazing. And there has been many times where Huddy has thrown so many emotional opportunities for Anthony to grow as a person, and he has just said no.
Not true.
Not
and I
true.
could prove it.
Not true.
With video references.
But this has been an absolutely amazing ride. Guest players have been great. The coterie has been great. I'm very sad that Harry couldn't be here with us today. But it has meant a lot. And I think this was the best possible ending.
I think so too.
This was exactly what I needed and what we needed. And it made me very hopeful and happy.
Thank you for being a part of the story. Wouldn't have been the same without Anthony. And I'm trying really hard not to be emotional because Huddy doesn't do emotions, all right? Just like them. But it's meant a lot. It really has. And I'm just going to get real personal real quick. Don't mind this. I reached out to Chris on Reddit, like, I don't know, in like 2018 or something, because he was making videos and I was just like, hey, want to make videos with me? And that's really how all of this started, because I didn't know what the hell I was doing with Vampire. I was just learning about it still.
Your stuff was great. Your stuff was great.
And so without Chris and then of course Josh adopting me, it really wouldn't have been anything. So I just want to say thank you, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me be part of this, and thank you for getting in touch with me. That meant a lot and still does.
I know.
Oh God, I'm having real emotions now and I don't like it.
I'm the worst. I hate it.
It's disgusting. It's very embarrassing to have feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the deal. As I'm sure many people did, I started like getting into TTRPGs and shit when the Panorama came around, in the midst of the Pandemi Lovato.
Yeah.
Vampire was one of those games that I touched on in the early 2000s and recoiled sharply with some of the experiences that I had and swore I would never touch it again.
Understandably.
And then I found it again and realized that people had been making space, people who looked like me, and even the people who didn't look like me.
Oh, Laura, do we need to come back? I look. I understand this feeling. I hate emotions. I hate them.
Nope. I got it.
Okay.
The
Emotion
people, even the
jutsu.
people who didn't look like me, wanted to change the scene for the better, and that includes Huddy. Huddy, I'm not gonna lie to you. The first time you reached out to me on TikTok, I had one of my friends like full on FBI stalk you to make sure you were the real deal, and I wasn't about to get
But
like
they found nothing because I'm
hate crimes.
because
on
like
the
I'm a total
internet.
persona on the internet. I don't do any personal stuff ever.
It was mostly just to make sure I wasn't accidentally gonna join up with a secret Nazi. Which is what
Well,
you have
I mean,
to do.
you always run that risk when you're my color, right?
Yeah, well. But I said yes, even though I didn't know what I was doing and hadn't really like found a foothold in the family, and then Huddy grabbed me by the wrist and started running, and here we are.
Yes. Laura, you grabbed my attention immediately. I got recommended one of your videos on TikTok, and I became totally obsessed with you. And I would talk to you to everybody. And then once you joined Queen's Court Games, I think I did a little dance for joy. I told everybody again, annoyed everybody, telling everybody. But then you're an award-winning actual play for Vampire the Masquerade player. And couldn't be more proud, couldn't be more happy. I couldn't be more joyful. I wish I could jump to the rooftops and tell everybody how amazing. I gave you so much stuff for Victoria. Victoria was already an established character that I came up with in my brain, and I gave you so much stuff, and you came in and you were Victoria. And you've been her ever since, and nothing else needs to be said because you did it all in game. And you are a joy to storytell for. You're an absolutely incredible team member, community member, and I love you. I love you, and I'm in love with you both.
I love you too.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game has meant the actual world to me.
I'm so glad, and there'll be many more. And for everybody at the table, there'll be many more games. I'm a masochist. I hate my free time, and I just want to tell stories all day, every day. Yeah, sorry. Emotions, I hate them. Josh, say something,
What?
Josh. Disgusting.
Please, dear God.
It's very difficult to follow that, but I suppose
Try.
this has been an extremely important game to me because it feels like I have it's always been a place where I could come and have reassurance that everyone here is invested in everyone else, both having a good time, being forward with, investing in each other's role play and characters, and just really Huddy did a lot of work to make sure that we were all on the same page, all in the same place, doing the best that we could to make this a cool and fun and safe story. And just the fucking roller coaster that I have been on because because of that moment where Huddy's like, hey, I have a cool idea for a holiday thing, and I really love ghosts, and then every now and again I really love ghosts, and we were like, you figure that out.
I really love Wraith. I do.
Yeah, and I think just all of you are fantastic role players and people, and it's so reassuring to know that you have my back, I have your back, and we can be at the table to make this, and that's what we've all been working towards. I don't know what I'm fucking saying anymore, but it is a truly.
You sound really good saying it though. You have that British accent, and to Americans, you start saying stuff, and you sound real good. Whatever it is that you're saying.
That was gibberish, is what that was. I just
love it.
I really do love you all.
Yeah, Josh, You're an amazing role player. You're someone who back in the day and probably still do look at as inspiration, aspire to be because I'm not a experienced role player, experienced storyteller, I guess, but not really a role player. Especially, listening to you on Stitch of Fate meant so much, and such a fangirl moment when Outstar introduced me to you. Such a fangirl moment to meet you, and then you'd like, hey, let's start a podcast, and hey, let's hang out, and you're just like such an adorable, lovable, genuine person, and I love you, and I'm in love with you both. True, I'm gonna say that to everybody at the table.
Have we ever told me? Every now and again, when I'm like, "Hey, Huddy, I need something," I'm always like, "Huddy, my love,
Yeah,
I need."
well, because we do that. I go, yes, my darling. What can I do for you? You got it, babe. I do that with Laura too, with everybody, because I love all my friends.
Yes,
but if
my
I
darling.
but if I
Fuckface.
actually
What's up
love
with
you, I'll
that?
be very mean to you. Tell you that I don't like you. Anyway, stop the emotions. I hate it so much. Zach, if anything you'd like to say about the game, or just move on if it meant nothing, which is fine. Oh god, I'm dying.
I'm good. Hi, I'm Zachary Baudo. I was approached 2 years, almost 2 years and like a month or so ago by Huddy to guest in this, and it has been fantastic the entire way through. I got approached to do something that I have not often, if ever, been approached to do, either in tabletop gaming, in acting, pretty much anywhere, which is be the villain. And it's something I always want to do, and I normally don't get asked to do it because people think that I'm just a nice person. So they're like, no, none of that. You don't look scary. You don't look give off villain vibes. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity.
And you were great, and right from the jump, very ready to go along with everything, and then you started coming up with ideas of your own, and that was real fun collaborating with you.
Oh yeah,
and
just for everybody else here to know, Conanti grew and evolved over the course of this gameplay through interactions with all of you.
Yes.
All the way down to very literally that last scene, because I did not actually have a name for Conanti the entire way through, but it did not feel right it didn't feel right to not give what was given by then. But yeah, Conanti started very much as, a I don't want to say flat villain, but very much like
very one-dimensional
villain for villain's sake, because that was something I didn't see very often. Through storytelling, it grew into what we finally ended with, because of every interaction with each of you.
You shaped Conanti into the man he is.
And for the folks that weren't here, like Harry, and the interactions with Galen, I'm sorry you couldn't be here as also the only person in the group I've met in person, but I'm sure that I'm going to torment Galen again.
He would have opened fired on you,
he would. Oh god,
so
yeah.
It would have been a very
different ending if Harry was here. So, well, and of course, last but not least, Kitsu.
Oh my gosh! Now how do I follow up all of that?
You could do it.
Let's try. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let me start by saying that the amount of imposter syndrome I have by just sitting next to you. I can't even begin to form words and stuff. And yeah, English is not my first language, but you can hear it. But also, that's not an excuse.
You speak 6 languages? It's fine. It's fine.
You know what they say, quality over quantity sometimes. No, but I'm really blessed and grateful to be here, because I came essentially as a +1, because Astrid was like a character that already existed as well. And Chris just kind of pulled me along, and so all of a sudden I'm sitting here, and it's like community leader makes videos over here, super X amount of followers, award-winning people.
I asked for you. I insisted. I asked for you because we played. Now here's real deep lore of Huddy. Huddy is really only besides I'm playing a V20 game right now. I'm only playing one V5 game. It was 4-shot with Chris, a Chicago game. And that's the first time I met Harry and Kitsu. And we had a great dynamic. We had a great time playing that. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but we had an excellent time. And so when I started my game, I wanted you.
It's true.
Because
Yeah,
you and me
absolutely.
because I was La Sombre, you were Toreador, and we fought the whole game, the whole 4 episodes, and it was the best fun I ever had. And at the end, we'd be like, "I'm so sorry." You're like, "I'm sorry too," and it was the best fun I had. So I knew you were a great role player.
I'm so glad. I always felt like it was so difficult to bring Astrid in, mainly because Astrid was a person that I never was.
Mm-hmm.
And she had like this romantic setup in life. She still does. She's still here. And
you're all still here.
And I was always such a tomboy. When I'm a character, I banter a lot and stuff like that. So it was a very big way of very much trying to hold back, but knowing how much I should hold back and how much I should still give. So
If I
hope
could
it came across.
ask one thing of you Kitsu moving forward is to trust yourself a lot more. So in the same way that Conanti had a one-dimensional villain and then grew as the story went along, you took Astrid, who was a one-dimensional character and PC turned vampire, and you grew her into the Astrid that everybody loves, the Astrid who's going to be Prince of Myrtle Beach. So you absolutely need to trust yourself a lot more, because you do relate to the character and you convey it through the role play. That imposter syndrome gotta go.
Thank you.
And so for the ending wrap up, Blood on the Grand Strand, this story has been incredibly important to me. This is my very first story I ever told, and it's been an absolute dream. I love all of you so much. I hope you're all looking forward to more stories that we're going to tell together in the future, and I hope you aren't ready to say goodbye to these characters, because Are We Dead Yet is still going on, and they may be needed depending on what shenanigans they get up to. They may need a favor from a prince or a pirate. They may take a road trip to Chicago. Who knows? Who knows with those guys? So thank you all so much, and we'll see you when we see you.